Last year, over 5 million Americans signed a lease for a new car. The dealership salesperson told them it was the smart move. Lower monthly payments, they said. You can drive a new car every 3 years, they said. It's like renting an apartment. You don't own it, but you don't have to worry about maintenance. And millions of people believe them. But here's the truth that the car dealership hopes you never calculate. Leasing a car is the most expensive way to operate a vehicle, bar none. Over a 10-year period, the average leaser spends over $10,000 more than someone who buys a reliable used car and holds it for a decade. That's not a car payment. That's a down payment on a house. That's a year of college tuition. That's your retirement compound interest, pissed away on a car you never owned. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll learn the exact math of why leasing is a financial trap, how to calculate the true cost of any lease, and the one number on the lease contract that the dealer hopes you'll ignore. I'll also give you a step-by-step strategy to buy a reliable used car that will save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. By the time we're done, you'll never sign another lease agreement again. My name is your name, and today we're going to run the numbers on the worst financial decision most people make. Let me start with a story that will make you angry at every car advertisement you've ever seen. A few years ago, a client named Michelle came to me. She was a school teacher, earning $45 a year. She had a lease on a brand new Toyota Camry. Her monthly payment was $299. That sounded reasonable. But then I asked her about the down payment. She had put down $2,000. I asked about the mileage limit. She had 12,000 miles per year, but she drove 15,000 miles for her commute. She was worried about the overage fees at the end. I asked about the disposition fee, the acquisition fee, the excess wear and tear charges. She had no idea. I calculated her true cost of that lease over 3 years. Total payments, $299 times 36, plus down payment, $2,000. Total $12,760. At the end, she had to return the car. She had zero equity. She had to pay $600 in mileage overage fees. Then she would need to start a new lease. Over a 9-year period, 3 consecutive leases, she would have spent over $38,000, and she would still have no car to show for it. If she had bought a 3-year-old used Camry for $18,000 and driven it for 9 years, she would have spent less on payments, had lower insurance costs, and at the end, she would own a car worth $5,000. The difference in net worth, over $20,000. Michelle told me, I thought leasing was the smart move because I got a lower payment. I never did the math. Michelle is not alone. The average leaser pays about $5,000 more over 3 years than someone who buys a car and sells it after 3 years. And the gap widens dramatically over longer periods. Leasing is the most expensive way to drive a car because you pay for the car's steepest depreciation years. The first 3 years, you pay interest, called the money factor. You pay fees, and you have nothing to show for it at the end. The math. Buy versus lease, a side-by-side comparison. Let me run the numbers for a typical new car. Assume you're looking at a $40,000 car. Option A, lease it for 36 months. Option B, finance it for 60 months at 7% interest, typical in 2026. Then hold it for another 5 years. Lease details. Down payment $2,000. Monthly payment $400. Approx. Money factor equivalent to about 6% interest. Total payments over 3 years. $14,400 plus $2,400. At lease end, you return the car. You have zero equity. You pay a $400 disposition fee and maybe $500 for excess wear and mileage. Total cost for 3 years, about $17,300. Then you start another lease. Over 9 years, 3 leases, total cost about $51,900. Plus your insurance is higher because you're always driving a new car, comprehensive coverage required. Add $500 per year extra insurance, $4,500. Total 9-year cost, $56,400. At the end, you own nothing. Now, option B, finance the same $40,000 car with $2,000 down, 60-month loan at 7%, monthly payment, about $750. Total payments, over 5 years, $750 times 60, $45,000 plus $2,000 down, $47,000. After 5 years, the car is paid off. It's now a 5-year-old car worth about $15,000. 0 Zen. Assuming 60% depreciation over 5 years, a bit high, but possible. Then you drive it for another 4 years with no payments. Insurance is lower after the loan is paid off. You can drop full coverage to liability. Years 6-9, you pay only maintenance, gas, and insurance. Let's say $2,000 per year in maintenance and insurance. Total additional cost, $8,000. Over 9 years, your total cost is $47,000 loan plus $8,000, $55,000. At the end, you own a 9-year-old car worth about $5,000. So your net cost is $50,000. That's $6,400 less than the lease scenario. Plus, you had the freedom to drive unlimited miles, no end of lease fees, and you weren't penalized for normal wear and tear. The lease cost you $6,400 more over 9 years. That's not small, that's a vacation. But wait, what about buying a used car instead of new? That's where the real savings are. Let's do that. Option C. Buy a 3-year-old used car for $25,000. Original price, $40,000. Finance for 48 months at 7%. Monthly payment, about $600. Down payment, $2,000. Total payments over 4 years, 600 times 48, $28,800 plus $2,000, $30,008. After 4 years, the car is paid off. It's now a 7-year-old car worth about $12,000. Drive it for another 5 years. Maintenance costs maybe $10,500. Total additional cost over 5 years, $7,500. Total cost over 9 years, $30. $800 plus $7,500, $38,300. End value, $5,000. Net cost, $33,300. That's half the cost of the lease scenario. That's a $23,000 difference. And you had no mileage restriction, no disposition fees, no lease end surprises. This is the math that dealerships don't want you to do. They want you to focus on the low monthly payment, not the total cost. Asterisk. The hidden costs of leasing, the numbers, they don't show you. Let me break down all the costs of a lease that are hidden or minimized in the sales pitch. First, the money factor. Dealerships don't call it interest, but that's what it is. The money factor is typically 0.01 to 0.8003, which equates to an interest rate of 2.4% to 7.2%. In 2026, money factors are around 0.0035, 6% to 8.4. That's not cheap. And second, the acquisition fee. This is a fee to set up the lease, typically $595 to $995. You pay it up front. You'll never see it again. Third, the disposition fee. At the end of the lease, you pay a fee to return the car, typically $300 to $500. You have no choice. Fourth, excess mileage fees. Typical lease allows 10,000 to 12,000 miles per year. Each extra mile costs $15 to $20 tolls in sight. If you drive 15,000 miles per year, that's an extra $750 to $1,500 per year. In overage fees, that's hundreds per month. Fifth, excess wear and tear. Any scratch, ding, or worn tire is charged at inflated rates. A scratch that costs $100 to fix might cost you $500 from the leasing company. Sixth, the down payment, capitalized cost reduction. You pay thousands up front, but you have no equity at the end. Seventh, higher insurance costs. Lessors require full coverage and often higher liability limits than you might otherwise carry. That adds hundreds per year. Eighth, the opportunity cost. The money you put into lease payments could have been invested. Over 9 years, the difference between lease and buy use could be invested at 7% to become $40,000 or more. The one number you must look at in a lease, the money factor. Asterisk. If you are going to lease despite my warnings, at least know how to calculate the true interest rate. The money factor is a decimal that you multiply by 2400 to get an approximate APR. For example, a money factor of 0.0025 times 2,400, 6% APR. If the dealer won't tell you the money factor, walk away. They're hiding the cost. Asterisk, the capitalized cost, another hidden number. The capitalized cost is the price of the car in a lease. Dealerships often mark up the capitalized cost to increase their profit. You should negotiate the capitalized cost just as you would the purchase price of a car. Never pay sticker price. Use resources like Kelley Blue Book, TrueCar, or Edmunds to know the invoice price. The residual value, the most important number. The residual value is the projected value of the car at the end of the lease. A higher residual value means lower monthly payments because you're only paying for the depreciation. But be careful, if the residual value is too high, you'll have negative equity if you want to buy the car at the end. Also, the leasing company sets the residual. You can't negotiate it. Compare residuals across different cars. Cars that hold their value well, like Toyota, Honda, Subaru, have higher residuals, making leases slightly less terrible. The zero down lease trap, it's not zero. Asterisk, many ads say zero down, but zero down usually means you still pay acquisition fees, first month's payment, taxes and registration, and zero down means higher monthly payments. There's no free lunch. The early termination penalty, the silent killer. If you need to get out of a lease early because you lose your job, have a baby, or move overseas, the penalty can be thousands of dollars. You're on the hook for all remaining payments plus termination fees. With a financed car, you can sell it and pay off the loan. With a lease, you're trapped. Why leasing is not like renting an apartment. Dealerships compare leasing to renting an apartment, but an apartment is a place to live. You can't buy a fractional apartment for $20,000. You can buy a perfectly good used car for $15,000. The analogy is false. You have a choice, and the cheaper choice is to buy used. Asterisk, the secret. Buy a reliable used car and drive it for 10+ years. This is the wealth building strategy. Buy a 3-5-year-old Toyota, Honda, Mazda, or Subaru. Pay cash if you can. If you need to finance, get a low-interest loan from a credit union and pay it off as fast as possible. Then drive that car for at least 10 years. Perform regular maintenance. Don't worry about dents and scratches. By year 10, your cost per mile will be under $1.25s, while the leaser's cost per mile will be $1.50 or more. Let me give you a real example. A 2019 Toyota Camry with 60,000 miles sells for about $16,000 in 2026. You finance it for 48 months at 7%, monthly payment about $380. Total cost, $18,240. You drive it for 10 more years until it has 150,000 miles. Maintenance averages 800 ye over that period. Total cost over 10 years, $18,240. Loan, plus $8,000 maintenance, $26,240. At the end, the car is worth $3,000. Net cost, $23,240. That's $2,324 per year, that's per month. And you have no mileage restrictions, no lease end fees, no down payment every 3 years. That's the wealth building path. Asterisk, the 10-year cost comparison. Lease versus buy new versus buy used. Let me give you a summary table. Assume you drive 15,000 miles per year, keep a car for 10 years. Lease, 3 3-year leases. $56,000 total cost, including higher insurance. End value. Buy new and hold 10 years. $50,000 total cost. End value, $4,000. Net cost, $46,000. Buy used 3-year-old and hold 7 years. Car is 10 years old. $33,000 total cost. End value, $3,000. Net cost, $30,000. And hold 5 years. Car is 10 years old. Even cheaper, the used car strategy saves you $26,000 over 10 years compared to leasing. That's $600 per year, or $216 per month. That's a car payment by itself. Asterisk the emotional argument, but I want a new car. I get it. New cars are shiny, they smell good, they have the latest tech, but ask yourself, is that new car smell worth $26,000? Is a backup camera and Bluetooth connectivity worth a down payment on a house? The wealthy don't drive new cars. According to the millionaire next door, the average millionaire drives a used car, often a Toyota or Ford, and buys it with cash. They understand that a car is a tool, not a status symbol. Your neighbors don't care what you drive, and if they do, they're not paying your bills. The 24-10 rule, a sane car buying framework. If you must finance a car, use the 24-10 rule. Put at least 20% down finance for no more than 4 years, 48 months, and keep your total car expenses, payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, under 10% of your gross monthly income. On a $60,000 salary, that's $500 per month total. That means your payment alone should be under $350. That's a used car, not a new leased BMW. A story of redemption. I want to tell you about a viewer named Carlos. He was leasing a new Ford F-150 for $500 a month. He came to me because he felt stuck. I showed him the math. He returned the lease early, paid a penalty, and bought a 5-year-old Toyota Tacoma for $22,000 cash from his savings. His monthly payment went to zero. He saved that $500 a month for 2 years and then invested it. 5 years later, he had $35,000 in his investment account. He told me, "I used to think my truck made me look successful. Now I realize that real success is not having a car payment." Your action plan: do this today. Here's what you need to do. First, if you are currently leasing, calculate your remaining payments and fees. Then compare the cost of buying out the lease versus returning it and buying a used car. Often, it's cheaper to buy out the lease, especially if the residual value is low. Second, if you are considering a lease, just don't. Use the money to buy a reliable used car. Third, if you need a car, start shopping for a 3 to 5-year-old Toyota, Honda, Mazda, or Subaru. Use Car Guru's, AutoTrader, or Craigslist. Get a pre-purchase inspection from an independent mechanic. Fourth, if you must finance, get pre-approved at a credit union. They usually offer lower rates than dealerships. Fifth, calculate your 24-10 numbers. If the car doesn't fit, choose a cheaper car. Sixth, commit to driving your car for at least 10 years. Write that on a sticky note. I will drive this car for 10 years. Seventh, comment below, "I'm never leasing again." I'll reply to the first 100 comments. If this video saved you from a $10,000 mistake, hit the like button. It helps others escape the lease trap. Subscribe and turn on notifications. This is the final video in this series, but I'll be back with a new series on advanced real estate investing and tax strategies for high-income earners. The car dealership is not your friend. The lease is not a deal. It's a mathematically engineered product designed to extract the maximum amount of money from you while giving you the illusion of affordability. The path to wealth is paved with used Toyotas, not leased BMWs. Drive that boring car for a decade, invest the difference, and watch your net worth grow. Your future self will thank you. I'll see you in the next series.